relax. We're not going to be late. Don't worry. I'm on my way. Just be ready.
Noah, we can't take this. We're never going to get there on time.
Why not? What else would we take?
What up? What up?
Hello and welcome to Wheel of Sports. I'm Jesse.
I'm Noah.
We're very excited to get this show started. We'll be releasing new shows every Saturday starting now up until this football season.
We're going to be talking about the latest NFL news, trades, transactions, fantasy, betting, everything NFL. We got you. Stay tuned every week.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the new Baker Mayfield trade, some of the winners and losers of free agency and trading this offseason, and then we're going to talk about our top 5 teams, and then we're going to do something fun at the end that I think everybody will like.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoy. If you do, leave a like,
Leave a
subscribe
comment.
if you'd like, comment. If you want more content from us, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
Let's get into it. Let's jump into that Baker Mayfield trade. You want to start us off?
Sure.
I mean, it was a crazy one. I mean,
the most recent trade is Baker Mayfield.
5th round pick. It was a steal. They got a great deal. I think Carolina got a great deal for a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I think the Panthers fleeced him too. I think it's good for Baker. I think it's good for the Panthers organization.
Yeah, let's go back and talk about what went down, what they gave up for it. So the Panthers traded their 5th round draft pick for Baker Mayfield, and along with that, they are splitting up his contract. So the Browns are covering $10.5 million, and the Panthers are covering only $5 million of that deal. So for the price, I'm just makes me,
I mean, there was bad blood with Cleveland.
Yeah.
And that's obviously why this was going down.
Absolutely, but I just feel like they could have got more on the market. I mean, if they would have waited, there's going to be other teams that are going to be needing a quarterback.
This was more about what Baker wanted and how he was kind of mistreated in Cleveland.
All right, I see that. But on the flip side, though, it's like they could have waited. I mean, they needed a quarterback. They have Jacoby Brissett as their number 1 starter right now. We don't know about Deshaun Watson. I mean, they were so quick to unload Baker, which is fine. I mean, he didn't want to stay there. He's probably going to be a prick about it. But still, I still think that they could have got more. I mean, they got screwed on that Deshaun Watson trade.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, come on. I mean, to just take a 5th round pick for your starting number 1 pick in 2018.
Let's look at it from Cleveland's side from when they first signed Deshaun. They thought it was coming to an end. They thought everything was okay, and then
more allegations came out, and it's just.
And it looks like he's going to be out for the whole season. At least that's what I think it's going to be. And since that's going to happen, I mean, what's the quarterback situation?
Yeah.
The rest of the team is great.
Yeah.
They have a great foundation for a whole
They were
team.
right there, and now they just blew their whole future on Deshaun Watson. I just don't understand what they were thinking in that Deshaun Watson trade. I mean,
at least for this season,
crazy. Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, sure they could turn it around.
Maybe Jacoby Brissett does step it up, and
you never know.
You never know.
Maybe they dip into the pool of QBs that are left, like Jimmy G still hasn't been moved from San Francisco.
Maybe they got a deal in the works with that. Who knows?
And then we'll look at it from the Panthers side. They have Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield now.
Yes.
The 1st round draft pick and the 3rd pick.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They do have Cam Newton too still, but that doesn't matter at all. He's just going to be a backup, helping to coach these young guys up. But from a stance of Sam Darnold, I don't know. I don't think they're going to pass the torch right away to Baker Mayfield.
I feel like they do.
I think that they will. He is going to be their starting quarterback for now, I would say, but it's still up in the air. They're still going to make a battle.
It's up to them if they want to make a move in their system and trade away Darnold and get some more depth at other positions, which they could. I think that would be smart. Or if they want to just, I mean, they're paying him more than Baker. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to have both of them. Yeah, we're going to be talking about our favorite moves this offseason. Good, bad, who's winning the trades, who's losing the trades.
Or the signing. Well, you don't really lose a signing.
You don't lose a signing, but you can.
You could lose a signing if the player doesn't pan out.
I mean, if you're the Jaguars, you can lose a signing.
Yeah, if you're the Jaguars, you could lose it. But maybe they didn't.
All right.
They did. They definitely.
Well, let's get into it. Who's your favorite?
Well, we'll talk about first player I want to talk about leaving the Bills is Mitch Trubisky. I think Pittsburgh got a steal on this quarterback. $14.4 million for 1 year. I mean, well, it's a 2-year contract, but $14 million a year. I think Mitch is going to be a great fit there. He's got Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, Chase Claypool. You know, the depth that Pittsburgh has this year, I think Pittsburgh is going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
I agree. I think Trubisky was a good signing for them. They have Kenny Pickett too. They don't know what they want to do. It looks like Mitch is the guy as of right now, and I agree with that. I think Mitch is a quarterback that didn't get enough credit for what he did when he was there in Chicago, and it was nice to have him backing up Allen because it gave us
for $2.5 million, you couldn't beat that.
No, you couldn't.
For a $2.5 million insurance policy on Josh Allen, if something would have happened to him, I think Trubisky would have easily been able to step up and fill that void to an extent. Obviously, you'll never be able to replace Josh Allen because he's the best, but
the best, and it's not even close.
All right, moving on. What do you got?
One of my favorite trades was probably during the draft when A.J. Brown went to the Eagles. Tennessee Titans traded him over in exchange for the first rounder, which was number 18 overall, and then a third rounder. I think it's a great asset for the Eagles to have.
Yeah, definitely a big move.
Huge move. It gives Jalen Hurts another target on top of Devonta Smith and Rager that he has and Goddard. Now they got a real number one.
And they got that great running back core. No, they don't. No. Miles Sanders, if he could get back to how his production was 2 years ago, maybe. I mean, they got Boston Scott backing him up still. It's been the same duo for a couple of years now. They're there. It's nothing special.
I think A.J. Brown's going to be big on that team. I think he's going to be utilized well, and I feel like he's excited to be there too. And I mean, I think overall Eagles won that trade. I mean, I know Tennessee doesn't have to give A.J. Brown that big contract now, but I think overall he's worth it, and we'll see if Burks works out for them. They still have Henry, and he's obviously through the offense runs through, but I honestly think that A.J. Brown on the Eagles is probably the winner of that trade.
Yeah, I agree. Next, I want to talk about the Davante Adams trade. Leaving the Packers and moving to the Raiders for a first and a second round pick. That's a lot to give up.
Green Bay offered him the same thing too. He just didn't want to be there.
He just didn't want to be there anymore. This is it for Derek Carr. I mean, he's got all the weapons he needs now. He's got Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams. He's got a number one receiver now. I mean, there's no excuses at this point. You know, if things don't click with him and Davante Adams, I mean, I guess we'll see what really happens.
I agree to an extent. I think Derek Carr's excited for the season to start because he's got that extra huge wide receiver
asset,
that he gets to toss the ball to.
Yep.
I mean,
it almost puts like the Packers in like that's just such a big move to make. To get rid of your number one receiver for a first and a second. I mean, Packers have probably the best roster in the NFL right now, but their receiving core is not there. But on the flip side, similar to Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers makes receivers look good. So we'll be able to, I mean.
Do you think that it brings Green Bay to a different tier, though? Do you think it takes them off?
Does it take them down?
Yeah.
I guess time will tell.
I think so.
I don't want to say that yet because we haven't seen them play with these new rookie receivers they have, but it definitely has a big impact on them. I mean, they probably have the worst receiving core in the league right now.
But with the two-time MVP quarterback, does that matter?
I know, absolutely.
Another guy that I want to talk about is Tyreek Hill. He was acquired in the trade with the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for the first, second, and fourth round picks, and then the 2023 fourth and sixth rounders. It was a lot to give up for Hill, and then Hill got paid to a 4-year, $120 million extension, which is a lot of money. It set the standard for receivers, and then more receivers just started to get paid.
Hopping on that pay train, man. That's just unreal.
They saw Tyreek get paid, and they were like...
And everybody started getting paid. Well, it wasn't even necessarily him. It was that Christian Kirk signing of the Jaguars. That was just unbelievable. I can't believe that they wanted to pay that much.
I know. That was a lot for
$72 million. I mean, maybe they see something in him that we don't.
Maybe.
You know?
But I think Tyreek Hill is going to be huge for the Dolphins.
Absolutely. It's a huge asset to have on their offense.
I mean, it gives more value to Waddle, too. I mean, it frees him up more. I mean, it's good.
It'll be interesting to see how he fits in with their offense. But, I mean, It's definitely going to have a positive impact.
We'll see if Tua is as accurate as Tyreek Hill says that he is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as close to Mahomes as he does. He hasn't been with him in a real game situation yet. I think Mahomes is a complete.
It definitely changes things. The in-game situation versus practices. I mean, it's night and day. Going from a practice to a real game.
It is.
I mean, but a veteran like Tyreek Hill should know that. And if he's making comments like that, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is what he says it is. So
is it all talk or
is it all talk or?
He'll find out, I think he'll find out if it's all talk or not, because maybe he is just a really good practice quarterback.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Moving on, that Deshaun Watson trade. We'll touch on that. I know we already talked about Baker Mayfield, but this Deshaun Watson trade was just absolutely ridiculous. Houston won the trade. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean,
read off the trade, and I don't think that Cleveland won in any aspect of it. I think that they lost a lot of their salary cap to a guy that's not going to play.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of picks. All right, I'll just read it off since we're just speculating. All right, the Texans acquired 3 first-round picks, 1 third-round pick, and 2 fourth-round picks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Plus the contract. Most of this contract is guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's a lot of money gone from the salary cap, like I said.
But he also Cleveland did give Houston a 6th-round pick.
Oh, then
just to make it a little better. But
that doesn't change anything for me, honestly. I think there's a clear winner of the trade. There's a clear loser right now, obviously because of the allegations that got brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was stupid of them to give him the biggest contract that a quarterback's ever received, especially with all that money guaranteed. I think that was so dumb, especially for a quarterback that hasn't played in over a year. And it's going to be longer.
Well, he has been practicing with the team, but like we were just talking about, practice from in-game experience, it's not comparable. You're not taking hits like you would be in a game,
Yeah,
it's a big toll on your body.
Like how we did it in the NFL,
What do you mean? Well,
yeah, how we took. Yeah, we know.
I'm just saying that
we know what it's all about.
Going from college to pro it's a whole new level. Everybody's so much faster. You can't even argue that.
I know. We lived it. We did live it. All right, let's go on to my favorite signing. Von Miller to the Buffalo Bills. 6 years, $120 million contract, $51 million in guaranteed money. I love it. I think he's great. I think he's going to be good for the young guys. He's going to teach them his ways and what he's learned through all of his years in the NFL. I love Von Miller. I think he's going to be great for us this whole year and years to come.
I like Von Miller too. Great guy. Seems like he has great leadership abilities compared to other guys like Khalil Mack. He just seems like he's a more personable guy. He'll be able to work with some of our younger guys and coach them up a bit, but that's a big price to pay for somebody that's in the very, very end of their career. I mean, he's
just a player
old.
that keeps proving himself, though. He gets to the quarterback.
Well, he gets to the quarterback, but he's old. How long is he going to be able to play for? That's a big contract. We paid a lot. He'll play as long as he wants, as long as his body will let him.
Yeah, and after Von, let's just talk about how the Bills' whole offseason was. I think it went great for us.
Yeah.
I think we signed some guys that we needed to.
Yeah.
We re-signed some guys that we needed to. Stephon Diggs, huge extension.
Yeah.
Love that for him.
Definitely biased to the Bills here. Big Bills fans.
Huge. Yeah. Look.
Yeah. I didn't know if they saw that.
Oh, and this. There you go. I think it's...
Yeah, so receivers, we got Jamison Crowder, Tavon Austin, re-signed Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can use Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, we lost Cole Beasley, so hopefully Isaiah McKenzie is going to get used a lot more in our offense. He's got the speed and that ability to get around the outside and make big plays.
Using him in that slot position is going to be huge for us this year.
Absolutely.
We signed 2 QBs as well. We signed Matt Barkley, who's really close with Josh Allen, we know.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He can also sling the rock quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Case Keenum
nice insurance policy for the Bills.
Case Keenum was also acquired in a trade with the Browns for a 7th-round pick. I think that's good to have another great QB.
Yeah, extra insurance policy, in case something happens, you never know.
Just in case.
We got Tavon Austin, Jamison Crowder, like we were saying. Tavon Austin will be great on special teams. We won't have to have Jordan Poyer returning punts anymore. No reason to risk that. We signed Duke Johnson, too. I mean, do we think he's making the roster? It's going to be close.
It will be close.
It depends on how free agents or how preseason goes. If guys get hurt, maybe he'll make the roster. But as of right now, I don't think he's making it. I don't think he's making the cut.
Yeah.
But he's a veteran running back there. We got a bunch of rookies. James Cook. I take that back. Not a bunch of rookies. A bunch of young running backs, as in Singletary, Zach Moss, James Cook, like I said.
I think it's a good backfield compared to last year, adding James Cook in. I think Singletary and James Cook are probably going to be the ones splitting the reps. It's going to be a competition between.
Hey, Zach Moss might not even make the cut. That's what I've been hearing.
You don't know if Duke Johnson's playing how he used to. I mean, you don't know who's going to take that last spot on the roster. But we did sign some good rookies this year. We got Khair Alam with our first-round pick.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
He'll have to fill that void for
Levi Wallace.
Levi Wallace, yeah. So we lost Levi Wallace to Pittsburgh. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it. And I wouldn't say I'm not salty about it. I liked him. He was good, you know.
I think that we made room for Alam. We liked how he fit into like our culture, and I think that he's going to complement Trey White well and Taron Johnson well, and our safeties like Hyde and Jordan Poyer.
Yeah,
the two best safeties in the league.
Yep.
Number one defense. We also signed Terrell Bernard. He was our third-round draft pick, 89th overall, I believe, from Baylor. He shows some good promise, the linebacker position.
Yeah, excited to see if he can step up. And
I think he might. I think he might surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then two more that I want to talk about, Khalil Shakir. People were surprised that we took him and got him at that position. Apparently he's a great wide receiver. I can't wait to see what he can put in for the team. And then we got the punt god, Matt Ariza.
Woo! Definitely buying his jersey. Super excited about that.
That's just
punters never get drafted. That's just awesome. That's just cool.
He's just a cool guy.
We drafted a punter. Who does that? Love to see it.
Overall, Bills had a really good offseason. Honestly, I'm happy with the moves that we were able to make. Bean, you're awesome.
I'm just, another guy that we missed, O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
We got O.J. Howard. He's towards the end of his career too, but he's a big guy. He's healthy. He's good when he's healthy, and he'll definitely be able to help out Dawson Knox.
I feel like he's mid-career.
He's got a lot of injuries though. A lot of stuff going on with his knees.
We'll see what he can do.
We'll see how he can bounce back, and
I'm excited to see if he does make a good move for the team. Overall, I'm excited for the season. Yeah. I'm really excited for the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am very excited to see how the Bills do this year.
Circulate.
I call it the dance move because that's like this is the sun and the planets.
Just sit down.
Top 5 team predictions.
Here's our top 5 team predictions for this upcoming season.
The one that's coming up.
Yeah, not what we thought of previous, what we think is actually going to be the top 5 teams for this next year upcoming. Do you want me to start it off?
Number 5. What do you got for number 5?
I think the same as you, my friend. I have
1, 2, 3.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't have the Bengals.
Oh.
Yeah. I reviewed my list and I might have made one change. Bengals are not my number 5 anymore.
Now I look stupid.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Well, I have the Bengals at 5. Obviously, a great team that made it to the Super Bowl last year. All they did was add more to it. Joe Burrow is an incredible quarterback.
I agree.
And they have great receivers, a good defense, and they're building around Joe on the O-line.
I got the Bengals at number 3.
You can talk about
So they're on my list.
We'll talk about them more then later.
All right. I'll let you continue.
No, we're good. That's all I had.
That's all you got. That's all you got. Yeah. All right. Well, then we'll go to my number 5 then.
Deal.
My number 5 is the Packers. I switched them in there because they arguably have the best roster in the league. And, when I was thinking about it, when I was talking about them earlier in the show, they do have the best roster in the team. And their only flaw is their receiving core. And when I think about how long Tom Brady was good with the Patriots, he didn't have a receiver. He did have a few that were his go-to guys for so many years, but none of them were like extreme number ones like Davante Adams status. And Aaron Rodgers, you saw with like Robert Tonyan, he wasn't really going to be anything that great. And his first year, he came out, Aaron Rodgers liked him, gave him the ball, and he looked good. He made him into somebody. He has an effect on players that, he's just a leader.
I think that he does have that that it factor of like it's not about what receiver he's throwing it to, it's about where he places the ball, and he is that good.
Well, Sammy Watkins, from what I've heard so far, he's not looking too good. He might not even make the cut right now.
Imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised. Not a big Sammy Watkins fan. Very injury prone ever since that foot injury. That's a tough injury to come back from, though.
It
in
is.
the NFL, having foot surgery like that.
Green Bay did lose Davante as well as MVS also. MVS went to the Kansas City Chiefs with leaving one less wide receiver.
But they do have Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard is going to have to step up big time.
I agree. They have a great running backfield too. They have a great backfield. Yeah. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are two tanks. Yep. All right, we'll move on to my number 4 then. It's the Green Bay Packers. We covered them.
You got Packers at 4?
Yeah, I got Packers at 4.
Nice.
I think that they have a great roster still. I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to be
You're putting them above the Bengals?
I'm putting them above the Bengals.
All right. It's just that receiving core is the biggest thing.
It is.
If he can get that going, they're going to be great.
I mean, they could prove us wrong for sure and just do as they usually do. But, I mean, I think that with Davante Adams, it is going to change the dynamic of how their offense runs a little bit. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to find his new favorite target because he's just left. And it might take a while, but I think he'll get back into it. I don't see the Green Bay Packers not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Well, depends. Like you said, the receiving core. We'll see. All right, moving on. My number 4. We'll skip my number 4. I got Tampa at number 4. Brady's back. Chris Godwin's going to be out for the first. He might even be ready for week 1. We're not 100% sure yet, but it doesn't matter. They still have Mike Evans. Leonard Fournette was an absolute. I mean, they re-signed him in the offseason, but he was an absolute beast those last 4 weeks of the season. If he can keep that production up, they're going to be solid this year. I mean, they got Russell Gage now too, another receiver that they're gonna that they just have to have. I mean their defense is stacked.
I would say that they arguably have one of the best, if not the best, rosters in the NFL. You said Green Bay. I think Tampa blows them out of the water, but they've taken so many pay cuts to be together.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, they're together to win, right? All right, moving on. Number 3. Who do you got for number 3?
Number 3, I have the LA Chargers.
All right.
Justin Herbert was actually number 2 in passing yards last year, which is incredible to me.
Who was number 1?
Tom Brady.
Of course.
TB12, obviously. But Justin Herbert took a huge step in year 2, and they re-signed Mike Williams, who he loves. They still have Keenan Allen on the team. I mean, Justin Herbert's a great quarterback, and they have Eckler back this year. They signed so many players to the defense that are so good. J.C. Jackson's an elite player that they got at cornerback. That I wish we talked about him earlier because he's so good.
Joey Bosa, he's a beast.
Joey Bosa. On the other side of Joey Bosa, now you have Khalil Mack.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, I have the Chargers too but I got them at number 2. They're my number 2.
Everyone forgets because I mean he has had injury before, but Derwin James is ready to go, and he's so good.
If he could break out, and I guess we'll see. And Asante Samuel Jr. at corner, we'll see how he does this year.
Yeah, overall, I'm excited for the Chargers. Who's your number 3, Noah?
My number 3 was we already touched on them, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, they're a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Joe Burrow's cocky as ever. He's probably he might be the cockiest quarterback in the league, but
there's cocky and there's confidence. He has both of them.
He has both of them.
I think it's more confidence. He's a cool guy. He's a cool quarterback to have on your team.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was so surprised that he took him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was so early in his career. Yeah, but they got that combo, which is so good. With Jamar Chase and Joe Burrows. I mean, they're unstoppable together.
Yeah, you got T. Higgins too.
Yeah, and that was a big question last year. How was Jamar Chase gonna flip over to the NFL? How was their combination? Was it still gonna be the same?
The answer is well.
And the answer is an obvious yes.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good for them.
Yeah, it was a good pickup for them. All right.
It was crazy how good he did to start.
Yeah, honestly, I know.
All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I have the Chargers. Both we've kind of touched on already.
We've touched on them.
Good. Why do you say Tampa?
I say Tampa because I think they have one of the best rosters in the league. Tom Brady came back from retirement because he loves the game so much and he wants one more ring. And I think he's going to chase after it. He's got one of the easiest divisions to get to the top, in my opinion. Only team really giving them like a run maybe is the Saints, and that's we don't know.
We don't know.
But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a top 5 team for sure, and there's no question in it.
Yeah, I would agree. My number 2 is the Chargers. We already touched on them. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler. I mean, they just have a lot going for them. I think that they are going to give the Bills a run in playoffs.
I think that the only thing with the Chargers is they have a very difficult division to be in right now with 4 elite quarterbacks. Well, 3 elite quarterbacks and 1 that could be. You can figure out who that is.
All right.
It's Derek Carr. Derek Carr's the guy.
I didn't think you were going to say it.
Never mind.
I thought you were just going to leave it at that. It's like
It's Derek Carr. All right, well, let's go to number 1.
All right, number 1.
Obvious. And if you don't have them at number 1.
1, 2, 3. Bills! Bills Mafia!
Okay.
All right. Why do we got the Bills at number 1? Well, they're the best.
It's not even
close. It's not even close. This is their year.
It's our
year. It's our year. I mean, they, with the signings we had in this offseason,
we've done everything we need to do to be from here to here. I think we've taken a step up on our roster. We've stepped up. We walked up the stairs.
We got Trey White back.
We upped
our
defense
all.
With Von Miller.
Defense, we got Von Miller. He's pretty good. We got a big contract with him. We already talked about that earlier in the show, but
and we have the best quarterback in the league, Josh Allen.
He is the best quarterback in the league.
His passer rating in playoffs was so good, and it wasn't close to like he was so far from everyone else. And we're a coin flip away. I don't even want to talk about it. We're not even going to talk about that.
Yeah.
This is it. This is our year. If it's not, it is.
And they were looking at Terrell Owens.
No, don't do that shit.
We're going to move on to our week 1 bet slips. What we think our week 1 parlay for who we think is going to win. We're going to go through and make a bet slip with every game picked, who we think we're going to win and lose, and we'll give you a little insight as to why.
Yep, we're going to pick every game. We're going to touch every single game.
And this is all free.
For week 1.
You can't get content like this anywhere for free.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to see how much we can run up a bet slip for, and we'll see what we can do. Let's go to week 1. We'll start off with the first game, probably best game of that week, Buffalo Bills versus the Super Bowl champions, Los Angeles Rams.
It is a home game for the Rams, not
is.
the Bills. That's the only reason why I'm nervous about the game. I'm not nervous about the game, but if there was something that made me nervous, it's their edge up on having it as a home game.
Bills by $1 billion. I'm taking the Bills minus 112.
Minus 112, we're both taking the Bills. It
shouldn't even be a question in your mind.
I would even just take that bet straight up as a money line bet. I think it'll have no problem hitting. I would even take the Bills minus 6.5 if you wanted to up your bet for more of a profit.
I mean, all options that are going to hit on week 1, obviously. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
He likes the Steelers.
I'd rather not pick this game. If I was picking a bet slip, I wouldn't touch this game, to be honest. But since we are going through and touching it, I'm picking the underdogs. I'm going with Pittsburgh. If Najee Harris can play how he did last year, he has more experience. He knows what it takes now in the league. And if Trubisky's chemistry is there with Deontay Johnson, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And they're plus 245, that's a lot. I mean,
yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals here.
Whoa, why you got to say it like that? Oh, I'm going to take the Bengals here. They
went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to be like, oh, it's the Bengals. Pittsburgh is, I know they weren't good last year, but they didn't have a quarterback last year. I mean, come on. They had a loose noodle.
Their defense scares me. Their defense
it's like you just got out of the pool. You got a pool noodle. It's hard to move a football with that, all right?
I think Pittsburgh has a really good defense, which might be hard to navigate to start. I think the Bengals still get the job done. We'll say it's a close game.
They have a pretty good defense to me. Pittsburgh does have a pretty good defense. All right, moving on. Philadelphia and Detroit. We're going to be split on this one, too. I already know it. I'm going Philadelphia. What are you going?
I'm going the Lions.
You're going Lions, all
right. I
right.
like the Lions a lot. I think they've done some good stuff, and I think that this year it pays off a little bit. Maybe not as much as a Detroit fan would say, but I think that they get a couple wins under their belt this season, and Dan Campbell leads them to.
I guess we'll see. I mean, maybe that's true, but it's not happening week one. Week one, Philly's winning this game.
If you go back and you look at Detroit's games, a lot of them in the beginning were by like one possession.
Yes, they did have a ton of games where they should have won. It was bad.
They could have beat so many teams.
They could have.
They're gonna move forward,
but they didn't. It didn't happen, unfortunately.
Okay, well,
maybe they'll prove us wrong, though, right?
They'll beat the Eagles week 1 plus 172. I'm taking the Lions.
I'm taking the Eagles minus 205. They got A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. If they can have good chemistry, I know the running backs aren't there, but maybe Miles Sanders and Boston Scott get it together, and they're there week 1. They show up week 1. You never know. I'm still going Philly on that. All right, moving on. Indianapolis, Houston. Colts, Texans.
1, 2, 3.
Colts. That's a pretty easy one. We don't even really need to touch on that one too much. I mean, we didn't even really talk about the Colts at all today. Colts, Texans. Davis Mills, do you think he's going to get the job done for them?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm taking Colts at minus 375.
Yeah, minus 375. I wouldn't touch this on a bet slip. I know it's an easy win, but minus 375, it's not worth the risk. But for this, we have to touch it, and I am adding it to my bet slip.
All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Saints, Falcons. I think we're going to be split on this one, too. I'm going with the Falcons.
I'm going to go Saints.
I'm interested to see how Marcus Mariota does this year with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts had flashes of, he was a beast last season, he was an absolute beast.
Yesterday.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to go New Orleans just because I think they have a better defense, and Jameis Winston has a new target in Jarvis Landry to go with Michael Thomas. I know that Kamara is going to be out. I don't think that that's going to matter this game.
I think Kamara's going to be out for a while.
Yep, but I don't think it matters for this game.
I don't think it matters for this game either.
I'm taking Saints minus 215.
All right, I'm going to go with Atlanta plus 180.
All right.
Moving on to the Ravens versus the Jets.
1, 2, 3.
Ravens. Right. I just think that there's no question here. The Jets still have a lot of ways to go. Michael Carter, he's going to be their starter week 1.
Running back? I'm sure that they'll split reps between the two, and they'll give Brees some reps. I just think Lamar Jackson's a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
and they have a good.
I'm not a huge Lamar Jackson fan, but he gets the job done.
I think their defense is good too, and they're going to stop the Jets, and it won't be close. But maybe it will.
I don't think it'll be close at minus 245.
Yeah, give me Baltimore minus.
Yeah, give me Baltimore minus.
You're doing that thing again.
What's that?
When you copy everything I say.
Oh, I wasn't copying. I was just.
You're just okay.
Agreeing.
Yeah, we'll go to the next game. New England versus Miami.
This is going to be a close one.
I agree.
I would not touch this game just because there's, at this point in the offseason, I would not touch this game. There's too many unknowns.
You got Belichick on one side. And
just a great coach. And you got Tyreek Hill, Tua on the other side with Waddle. And
a good defense. I'm going to take Miami here at minus 144 just because it's week 1.
Yeah, I'm going Miami as well.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, man. I'm going to hate myself for that one later.
I won't.
Maybe.
I won't.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but Tua and Tyreek, if they play up to the hype that Tyreek is saying, I think they're going to be good. And I hate to say that as a Bills fan.
Well,
I don't think we'll have to worry about it.
I think Mac Jones is going to suck.
All right. Next game. Browns, Panthers. I like this game a lot. I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, me too.
It's a revenge game. If Baker does get the start, I think how can you not give him the start?
I think
against Cleveland, how could you not give him the start? They got to give him the start.
I feel like everyone's forgetting that they also have Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore, who had
DJ Moore
good year with.
Come on, he's a beast. If him and Baker Mayfield are off to a good start and have great chemistry, I mean, it's only been a week. He's only been there for not even a week. He's probably not even down there yet. I mean, if they can get on the level that DJ Moore was on last year, I mean,
only thing that could tear this apart is the Cleveland defense. But I think Carolina has a good young defense too. We'll see how it plays out.
It's definitely going to be a defensive game.
God, I wish it was already next football season.
I know.
Tomorrow.
I know. So we're taking Carolina plus 100, which is interesting. Plus 100 for Carolina. I would take that bet straight up.
Might take it on the side. All right, let's move on to
49ers Bears.
Who you taking?
I'm going 49ers.
Me too.
I'll be interested to see how Trey Lance does this year. It's minus 270. I wouldn't touch this bet on a normal bet slip because there's still too many unknowns with the Bears. I know that. I think the Bears are not going to be good this year.
Justin Fields showed glimmers of hopes last year. We'll see.
He's definitely got to step up his game this year.
He's got the ability to do it though.
He does.
It'll be cool to see.
It's just he doesn't have the team around him to back him. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he does this year. And 49ers with Trey Lance, I mean,
they have such a good defense still.
Yeah.
Good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like the coaching will probably win that game.
All right, we're taking 49ers minus 270, even though we would not touch that in a normal parlay.
Maybe you wouldn't touch it. I might touch it. Maybe I'll touch it.
Yeah, minus 270. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Jacksonville Jaguars, Washington Commanders. This one's interesting. Washington Commanders are favored, minus 198, with Carson Wentz now at the QB spot for them. Jaguars, year 3 for Trevor Lawrence? No,
Year two.
Year two.
Yeah, year two.
I'm right. Year 2 for Trevor Lawrence. We'll see what he can do. They signed Christian Kirk.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does.
He didn't play at all last year, so we'll see what he does this year, coming off an injury.
I've seen one comparison to Deebo Samuel, and for some reason, that's going to make me pick the Jaguars at plus 166.
I am taking the Jaguars as well. With all those free agent signings, they better be winning games because that is a lot of money they spent on a lot of guys. From Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram.
That's more just like his last chance, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he didn't get paid too much, but it's still money out of their cap, and spend that much money and have another awful season. I don't even know what to say if they're not good this year. I don't even know what to say about Jacksonville. I mean, they had all this cap money to spend. In my opinion, they wasted it.
I think they have a good defense.
I mean, come on, Zay Jones. What did he get? $24.5 million for 3 years. I mean, he played great at the end of last season with the Raiders, but that's a lot of money to pay for.
We'll see how it plays out.
That. We'll see how it plays out. Absolutely.
The next game looks really tricky to me.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. But
Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers.
I'm going Chargers.
I think it's going to be close.
Honestly, it's just Davante Adams. We don't know how he's going to be with Derek Carr.
I feel like it could come down to DBs and who's
absolutely,
in their backfield.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, you're going to have J.C. Jackson on Davante Adams probably.
If they're manned up all game. But, I mean, that's another thing that we'll see how they play it. But I'm going to take the Chargers minus 190 just because
I'm going to go with
defense.
the Chargers as well. Just because of defense and quarterback.
I mean,
Herbert's better than Carr. You can't
agree.
even argue that. I know.
You can argue it, but I mean, is it an argument?
It's a losing argument. All right, moving on. Giants Titans.
1, 2, 3. Giants.
I'm going Titans.
Okay.
I mean, yes, Brian Dable is their head coach, but
Dable.
How can you? They're just Daniel Jones is just not it for me. I am not a Daniel Jones fan.
I don't know why I'm just not sold on the Titans this year. I know that they were number 1 last year, and this should be an obvious pick. But there's upsets in.
There is upsets. There's absolutely going to be upsets, and
Lions and Giants just so happen to be the ones that I think upset. And Titans, I don't know. It runs through Derrick Henry.
Maybe they'll be
Giants
cocky.
Don't have a bad defense.
Maybe Saquon Barkley steps it up this year and plays like he should have when he was a rookie.
We'll see how it goes.
I know injuries, but still.
Next game, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like this is an easy one. Easy pick.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Cardinals are just missing too much week 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, excuse me.
Kyler Murray's not throwing the hop.
This pick is just making me sleep because this one is just too easy.
Andy Reid's going to take advantage of a team missing their number 1 receiver for sure.
They're going to rely heavily on.
They lost a couple players this year. They also brought some players.
Kyler Murray running around. So
that's what that game might be.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they could stop Kyler Murray and contain him,
I feel like
it'll be an easy win for the Chiefs. All right, moving on. Packers Vikings. Packers are favored.
Yeah.
I'm going Packers. Plus 120 or minus 120. Sorry.
Kind of makes me feel like I have to since I put them in my top 5. I'm going Packers.
I think they have it.
There's that Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook kind of like in the back of your head, like, oh, they could go off.
Yeah.
They can still get touchdowns and such. But, I mean, Green Bay has a great defense. 2-time MVP. I mean, I feel like you have to take Green Bay. Minus 120. That's a good price.
I take the risk. I take the risk at the receivers, I'm willing to take that risk just because of how good Aaron Rodgers is and how much of a leader he is. I know we've touched on that a lot today.
Minus 120 is a really, really good price for Green Bay if you're side betting that. I don't know if I will, but maybe.
All right, moving on. Tampa, Dallas.
Tampa.
I'm going Tampa, yep.
There's a small part of me that likes Dallas a little.
But not enough to beat Tampa.
They lost Amari Cooper. I mean, Amari Cooper's going to waste away on the Browns for a couple of games unless Jacoby finds him. I don't know. Amari was so good for them. CeeDee Lamb's still there. Still got
Zeke if Zeke
in the
can
backfield.
do something.
And Dak is a really good quarterback. I mean, I just think Tampa comes out. They're a team that's been together for a long time now. No missing pieces except maybe Godwin week 1. And that defense is really good. So is Dallas. Dallas has a really good defense too.
Yeah.
Can't take it away from them. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game and there is an upset, but
yeah, I'm still rolling with Tampa.
Me too. Tampa minus 136.
They're just week one beast.
All right, we'll move on to no, that's it. Is it? No, this is it. This is the last one. A revenge game for Drew Lock. Seattle versus Denver.
Denver.
Yeah, it's Denver.
Denver minus 215.
It was always Denver.
Yeah.
I'm going to read off my 16-leg parlay slip, and it ends up at...
So if we put $1 on it?
No, we won't even do that. We'll just tell them what it's plus.
Well, you could just put $1 on it just so that they could see.
All right, 8.
This isn't financial advice. We're not telling you what to do.
No, you don't have to do this at all. This is just for fun.
This is just for fun. We're just doing our own thing.
We're just two guys having fun.
Take it for what you will.
My bet is plus 837,419. So say you were to put one scoop, $1 on that, it'd be $8,374.19 in your pocket.
All right.
Noah's 16-leg is plus 931,543. So say you were to put $1 on that, it would be $9,315.44 in your pocket. And
those are just our predictions.
Week 1, we'll bring those back, and it'll be funny because we probably forgot that they were in our FanDuel account, or that they were in our account. I don't know. That they were there, and maybe it'll be a nice little surprise.
Is that? You have 470,000 in your account? That's insane. All right. That's it for this episode.
You know that you can't do that. You know that you can't do that.